I'm going to talk about big niche sites versus small niche sites. My name is Doug Cunnington. I'm from Niche Site Project, and we're doing a live stream right here. Niche sites versus... And that was loud. That popped up, and that was a little bit loud, but I know the sound is now working. If you are just joining up, welcome. If you are a first-time viewer for one of the live streams, let me know in the chat. I'm interested to hear about that, interested to hear where you're from. So let me know your name, where you're from, give me a shout in the chat. I think a few people are filtering in now, which is awesome. So I think everyone can hear me, but just let me know in the chat. It is always good to have a confirmation. So you'll notice, if you have been to these before, I've rearranged my my office. My desk situation here is a little bit different. So I'm off the wall now. I'm away from the wall. I was buried in that corner. You'll remember the quilt that my mom made there. And it looks crooked, but I don't think it is. It looks crooked on this particular view, but it's all good. Anyway, I'm off the wall. I can stand up, which is nice. I don't stand up all the time when I work, especially like if I'm typing a lot, but for this kind of stuff, for calls, I think it could be a good thing. So awesome. I see Wesley's on. Samara, welcome. I'm glad that you can hear me. So like I said, I'm going to talk about big sites versus small sites. We'll get into it a little bit deeper in a second. Steven's on as well. You can hear me. And yeah, the other thing I like is you can see the plants. Like there's some plants. I moved some into the room just because there are more spaces available now. So there's one on the window. There's a couple over there. Plants are good. I like to have plants around. Ron, what's going on? Ron, I haven't seen you around in a while. I know you have a lot of projects that you had been working on that you're working on now. So shoot me an email. I'm interested to hear what you're working on. Or, I mean, you could even tell people in the chat here. So, all right. So a couple things I want to mention before we get into the good stuff. I did another collaboration with my friend Alex at WP Eagle. So there is a teardown for a review page on Baby Gear Lab. So that's at WP Eagle, and you can go check it out. It just went live today, and it's actually going to work nicely with what I released. So I put out a similar teardown on a different page of Baby Gear Lab. So that's cool. And I published that on Monday. He published this one. And then next week, we're going to look at an informational article on his channel, again, from Baby Gear Lab. I'm also going to do like a backlink teardown, most likely, if I get enough comments on the video that I published on Monday. So I think that could be an interesting little experiment that I'm doing to see if those 3 videos sort of all, actually, I guess 4 total, all work together to get, you know, both Alex and I a little bit more viewership. So that's a little behind the scenes. I see Paul's on. I need a green screen. Yeah, you know what? I actually have a green screen, but this is what it really looks like back there. So I'm probably going to stick with that for a little while. And Pierre's on, Vamil's on, and okay, let's get to it. I see we got like 15 people on. That's awesome. Going to try and hold it tight today, not ramble on too much. So first off, we'll just assume these are affiliate sites based on Amazon monetization. So again, if you're just joining up, we're doing big sites versus small sites. And I got a question about this a few, I guess a few weeks back. Someone was just like, talk about big sites versus small sites. And some people would apply the name, you know, niche site to a small site, and other people would apply authority site to the big site. But I think that's a little bit of, people just have different definitions. So, I mean, technically, a niche site just covers a narrow topic, and that is sort of the idea behind it. It covers a narrow topic, but it could have like hundreds or thousands of pages if it's a narrow topic. So I don't use that terminology. I mean, it's a branding thing, right? So I'm Niche Site Project, so I use the term niche site. That's what I stick to. But essentially, I have a specific view on it. It's sort of within the 5-Figure Niche Site course. It's buried in there. I don't say it explicitly, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit today. And then if you watch many of my videos on YouTube or you read some of the content on Niche Site Project, you will see that I sort of have a specific idea of what I like to do. And the main idea, I think it transfers over to like life and other things in general, is to give yourself like flexibility and options. So the point is, when all sites start, they're small, like there's not much content on it. I'll mention the caveat. If someone had a big budget and they had, I don't know, tens of thousands of words written, and then they publish it all at once, okay, that launches with a lot of content. But you don't get all that content instantly. Regardless, it has to start at, each article is written by one person, and you have to start small. So my thought is that you should start small. All sites start small, and you should give yourself the capability to grow if you want to. You don't have to have a huge site with hundreds of pages. Maybe 15 pages is enough for you to make, $1,000 a month, and that's all you need. You're not trying to quit your day job. You're just trying to, pay off debt a little bit earlier, or, go on a little bit nicer vacations or something like that. Buy a new car, whatever you want to do. Eat out more, I don't care. But you just want a little bit of extra money, but you're not trying to quit your job. Maybe you love your job. So basically, when you start a site, because you don't have much content yet, you want to, sort of brand it in a general way where you can cover a lot of products. So you can add a lot of products if you want to, but you don't have to. Again, flexibility is the option that I want here. I want to be able to like just cover, certain things, just cover certain products on the site. And then if you choose to, if you have the budget, if you like the process, if you enjoy owning a niche site, then you can add as many pages if you want. You do need to sort of, I guess, brand the site early on in sort of a general way so that you can expand it. If you want to expand it and if you didn't brand it in a broad way initially, that's still okay. You can still grow your site, add, products and reviews and stuff that sort of fit in the niche, or at least it's for the same audience. And then you can, adapt from there. If you need to rebrand it, you can. It's just a problem to solve. Now, I'll talk about the converse in a second. And I see there's a decent number of chatter, or a decent amount of chatter going on in the chat room, which is good. If you have questions, please go ahead and ask, and I'll come back after I finish talking. It's no fun to watch me try and read the chat while I'm trying to talk. It just doesn't work. So, by the way, if you're just joining up, welcome. Let me know where you're from. Let me know where you're at in the world. And if it's your first time attending a live stream, welcome. Let me know that too. Glad to have you on. So I talked about small sites and how you can grow a small site into a large site. It just makes sense. Everything starts small and then you grow. The converse is to go for a big site out of the gates. I think that's a huge mistake. It's a dumb move, right? So basically, most people, especially if you're just getting started, right? So let's assume you are a beginner to like intermediate level. Like maybe you have a site, maybe you've launched 10 sites, but you haven't broken out of the, $300 per month range, and you know that it works, but you haven't, figured out the formula to expand, to scale, to make more money. So let's say you're sort of at that point and you're hearing authority sites are the way to go. Big sites are the way to go. Google loves those sites, blah, 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 blah. So all of that can be proved with like case studies and stuff, but there are exceptions to every example. And it just depends on what the person is trying to sell you at the time, um, that sort of impacts the story that they tell you. So the problem with launching a big site, especially out of the gate, if you're in that beginner or intermediate stage, is you're going to quit before you get any traction. It's just really hard to put time into a concept that you're unsure about. If you're not sure it's going to work, and let's look at the actual reality of this. And I fought this battle as well. But let's say there are people in your life that they don't consume the same like internet marketing information. They don't see the case studies. They don't think this stuff will work. My wife was skeptical from the beginning. She's still pretty skeptical about internet marketing in general. And I could appreciate a lot of that. I mean, we came from a background of, we both have engineering degrees. We, got consulting jobs out of school, very corporate jobs. We did those jobs for like a decade. It's kind of embedded in like what we're used to. So believe me, we've had some discussions about the viability of making money online. The reason why I'm bringing this up is you may have people in your life, your friends, your family, parents, siblings, spouses, whoever may not have faith in the time that you're spending, or let's say you're investing money too. Let's say, you're buying content, you're buying links, and you're like, $4,000 and hundreds of hours into a project. And, your friends and family don't want to see you, toiling over where you're spending your time. You're trying hard, but you're not getting results. So this is the problem. If you try and launch a big site, you're not going to get any results fast. That's why in, what I tell people in my teachings in general, whether it's in the course or right here for free, you should start small. There's a concept in project management called sprints. It's like a sprint of work where you do a lot of work fast, like you could imagine a sprint would be. And the idea is to deliver that or get an output, the deliverable, the finished product from the sprint is like an encapsulated, delivered, like final piece of work that can actually make money for you. And in the 5-figure niche site course, it's launch 10 pieces of content, then start promoting it. Because at that point, 10 pieces of content is enough for you to move forward with outreach. It's enough for you to get links, and it's enough for you to make probably hundreds of dollars a month. I mean, if you happen to do everything right and everything goes perfect, which by the way almost never happens, but you can make $1,000 a month with a 10-page site. And one of the examples that's really easy for me to give is the Project Go White Hat site. It was making like $10K a month for months. I think 3 months before I joined up. I had 45 pages of content. That was it. Probably 5 of those pages were like the about page, contact page, and other just sort of default pages that are not monetized. And most of that revenue was from like one post. So you don't have to have a big site to make a lot of money. You do have to focus in certain areas. You could put it into content, or you could put it into link building. You have to choose or do a blend of the two. So that is my overall point. I'm going to go to the chat and try and catch up with what's going on and say hello to everyone. All right, let's see. Any questions that you have, put them in the chat. I'll try and answer everything. If it is not relevant to the topic today, I'll probably answer it really short, and then I'll put it on my list, okay? So if it's relevant to the topic, fantastic. Or something I said, I'll go in depth. But if it's not, then I'm gonna make it a short answer. So nothing personal, just letting you know. All right. Okay, so Paul, I'll consider the green screen. That is a reasonable idea. I tried to at least not have a mess behind me. You can't see the floor for a reason. There's just stuff everywhere over there. Just kidding. It's pretty clean in here. All right, and Vimal, cool, good to have you. Ron, you're working on multiple projects. And Ron, I've known Ron for a couple years. We haven't caught up in a while. So you're working on an Amazon website. It's making some money, but you'll email me. Cool. That sounds awesome. You know what? I think I saw it somewhere at some time. Maybe you did a roundup post. I think I saw that and it linked out to it. So that's cool, Ron. And Leo's on. Yeah, you appreciate the new camera angle. So yeah, I just moved the desk around. So I'm standing up now, which is good. Victor asks, how would I approach link building for a big site with over 100 money keywords? I would approach it one keyword at a time. It is much like eating an elephant, as they say. So my advice is to ignore 99 of the keywords, focus on one, and work on that one. That is it. And don't get distracted. Work on it. Work on that one keyword at least for 60 to 90 days, and then come back to me. If you try to do all 100, or even if you just pick 20, let's say you're going to try and be smart and do the 80-20 rule, and you're just going to pick 20 of the articles, 20 of the keywords, you're still going to be struggling. So just pick one, do a bunch of link building to it, and then go from there. Also rethink the 100 money keywords just in general. So, okay. Vemel mentions to Victor, I believe, to try and guest post. So that's cool. That's good advice. I would try guest posting, but the really deep thing, Victor, is to only focus on one. And by the way, people can give me the same kind of advice. I tend to work on too many projects. So, and Ron, oh, just caught up with Vemel. But okay, next. Polina asks, can I recommend an Amazon affiliate plugin for WordPress with a 90-day cookie and real-time prices? So first, don't worry about the 90-day cookie. What the 90-day cookie is about, so normally, I'll just backtrack for a second. So normally the Amazon cookie lasts for 24 hours. So if they make a purchase within 24 hours after clicking your link, then you get the commission for it. If they click someone else's link and theirs is more recent, then they get the commission. So it's kind of a recency thing. The 90-day cookie is an add to cart cookie, and the user experience sucks. I do not recommend doing that. People that are selling you the plugin, by the way, will say, oh, you want the 90-day cookie, and it's the greatest thing in the world. They're trying to sell you a plugin. So remember that. Remember where you're getting your information and what they're trying to sell you. At some point, I'm definitely going to try and sell you a course. So I won't make any, you know, I won't try and hide that. I'm going to try and sell you a course at some point. But at this point in time, I could tell you, I'm not trying to sell you a plugin. I don't recommend the 90-day cookie thing. Test, like, just look how the user flow goes, and it sucks. Because basically what happens, you click on the, you know, more information about whatever product, then it takes you to an add to cart button where you don't see the product information. You see no like product detail page that most people would expect to see when they go to Amazon. It's just add to cart, no picture, just text. Bad user experience. I don't recommend it. Real-time prices. There's a lot of different plugins that will do it. I know EasyAzon does it. I think my buddy Dave Nicosia is adding this functionality to his theme and maybe his table plugin as well. I'm not 100% sure the development cycle. By the way, EasyAzon does have the 90-day cookie. If you are interested in it, I recommend against it, but EasyAzon does have both of the things that you are looking for. Polina, good question. Dcard, what's up? Adrian's on, good to have you. Polina, it's your first time on. Welcome, glad to have you on. And let's see here. Oh, and then I'll read this. It's just a random comment from Ron. It says, trying to absorb everything Doug has to say. He's one of the good ones out there who isn't full of BS. Thanks. I'll read all compliments for sure. Okay. And then Leo asks, my wife is skeptical after selling the 200K site with Rob. Wow, I thought that would be proof for anyone. It's strong proof. That's definitely leverage in my favor. No doubt about that. John mentions that blessings to all from San Antonio. John, thank you for joining up. And D-Card says, your relatives are crushing you for doing internet marketing. Yeah, it's kind of like, I will mention the people that don't like have as many, like my siblings and my parents and stuff, like, and my friends too, like they are slightly interested, but they don't know like the details and the nuances, where my wife, like, she helped me, you know, proofread almost all the, you know, like early content that I wrote, and like was in the weeds helping me do stuff, posting things, writing articles, doing link building and stuff. So she actually is a pretty skilled at the whole process. So yeah, I mean, she knows the details, and maybe that's why, I mean, she's very conservative fiscally in general. So Raphael says, who here is taking the Deadbeat Super Affiliate course? So I have not, Raphael. I have heard from a couple of my students who have. They mentioned it was on the basic side and they weren't sure if it worked well. I have exchanged a couple of emails with Dan. I think he and I are direct competitors, and then he stopped emailing me. So I'm going to try and, you know, talk to him again. But my take is we're selling similar products, but like I mean, he's called Deadbeat Super Affiliate, right? I'm a project manager, like a PMP certified, like I come from a different area. We have different audiences. I don't think we're competitors. We just have a different take on the same material. I will ask you, Raphael, you usually get what you pay for. And I'll mention that his course is cheap, and I'm not sure why it's so cheap. I haven't taken it, but I think he does have like the normal sort of, you know, ironclad refund policy. So I encourage you to take his course, buy it. If it's not for you, then, you know, you can put that in the data bank. You can get a refund if it's not the right thing for you. But I mean, he seems like a good dude, excellent marketer, and he's doing really awesome on YouTube. So seems like a good guy, just I haven't connected with him. So, and Ron mentions, don't let them get you down. The stuff does work, but it's not easy. It does work. Yeah, that is totally true. Everything is harder than what people like lead you to believe. Everything takes work. It takes time. If you don't have, you know, about 5 hours a week over, you know, I would say like 3 to 6 months to dedicate, like you probably need to carve out more time. You need to wait until you have more time to dedicate to it. There's also a lot of like if you're brand new to internet marketing, there's a ton of like new concepts, there's new tools, and there's almost too much, right? Like you have to filter what you're consuming. So it does work. There's no one step that's like really hard. It's just like 100 little easy steps that you have to do in the right order. But it's really just 100 easy steps, and like nothing should take you more than like half an hour. 100 little easy steps. You got to do them in the right order though. So, all right, lots of talking here. Cool. And keep the questions coming. This is good. John asks, was the 45 post site using the KGR, the keyword golden ratio, the all in title method? If you're unfamiliar with the keyword golden ratio, it'll change the way you look at keyword research. So you should look that up on my channel. Maybe someone will paste it in the chat. So no, the answer is no, John. It was like probably 35 or so like medium level keywords and like one high volume keyword. And it had a lot of links. I'll tell you that. It had a lot of links. The posts were generally 1,000 words long, except a few that were like 2,500 words. And then once I joined up on the project with Rob, I looked at the content, I said, this sucks, and then we need to fix it. So I went and did the research paper method. Another video is out there, I think, where I talk about it. Or Niche Site Project, there's some information on the research paper method. But I did the research paper method. I hired a writer to add about 7,000 or 8,000 words to the post that was making 90% of the money. And the revenue and traffic went up by 40% in about 45 days. And then it kept going up, like it 3x'd in December from like 3 months previous. So the posts were generally long form, 1,000 to 2,500 to like 10,000 words in general. Josh says, you're looking to transform your smaller men's site into authoritative men's health site. Any example authority sites I know of would be good. Okay, go to, just in general, authority sites. Go to a playlist that I have, and it covers like big sites like the Sweet Home, Outdoor Gear Lab, Baby Gear Lab, and some other big sites like that. So go check out those videos. They're like each a half an hour long or so, and I just talk about them. They're a little slow, you know, they're a little slow. So speed it up to double speed and you'll hear me talk fast. I'm doing shorter videos these days because I understand the problem there. But yeah, look at a couple of those, and the guys over at Authority Hacker, you know, again, you know, we're competitors, but really I don't think we are. They have like their public site that they share. It's called Health Ambition. Go check that out. They also showcase Perrin and his site. I think he sold it. And that is, I think, called HearPup. So actually, if you go sign up for their email list and stuff, I don't know why I'm telling people to sign up for other people's email list, but they cover the, you know, authority site model. And if that's your thing, you could take a look at that. So, however, I would challenge you, Josh, and say you could just do KGR content. That's what I did. I took my site from January of 2016, making $100 a month, to like $14,819 in December of 2016. And I just checked it earlier today. That's why I know those numbers. But that is a tremendous amount of growth. And I didn't do any rebranding. I didn't do any authority site stuff. I just published a shitload of content, like 200 articles that ranked without me doing link building. That is what I would do. That's my recommendation. D-Card. Okay. D-Card is talking about college and don't focus on money, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. And then Josh says, how much do I recommend spending on 500 words for a blog on average? I would say about like $8 or so. And Luran says, would EasyAzon import photos and images? Yes, it does. What do I use? I typically just use the SiteStripe, like the Amazon tool, to get the images in. They're smaller, and you know what? I do everything just the most basic, boring way that you can think of. I wish I had better tips than that, but yeah, I don't use any fancy tools. I could recommend a lot of them and try and, again, get you to buy stuff through my affiliate link, but I rarely do that. Okay. Tom says, you read the terms of service, but you couldn't find the information where they allow you to use the first image of a product. Well, I'm not 100% sure where you could find that information. I actually just yesterday was reading over the terms of service, and it's dry. I'll just say that. It's a dry read. What I can tell you is I do know that you're only supposed to get the images from the API. Whether that's the first image or not, it usually is, by the way. Like, I don't know for sure, but I would highly recommend you just use the, you know, SiteStripe and just work with that. Or if you have, you know, a theme, and there's actually some great themes out there. My friend Dom at Human Proof Designs, he does have a theme, I think it's called Authority Azon. And then my other friend, Dave, he has the Ultimate Azon theme, which version 2.0 is coming out soon. So I'd hang on for version 2.0. But I think both of those have connections to the API, and they're like a robust set of features for Amazon affiliate sites. I don't use either one of those themes. I just use like some other theme that I have that I know how to use. But Tom, I'm sorry, I don't know exactly where that information is. I'm pretty sure it's in the terms of service in the like associate agreement. I'm pretty sure it's in there somewhere. Okay. Vilmel says, you just started and you posted 10 articles. Is 50-50 commercial to informational content still what I recommend? Yes. You hear Google's latest update called Fred may target promotional sites only. Just stick with a 50-50. Should work just fine. Make sure your content is of you know, a relevant length for the topic. I usually do like a minimum of 800 to 1,000, and as long as, you know, 10,000, 12,000, 14,000 words. As far as promotional sites, I heard the same thing about Fred. I don't have any firsthand information on it. But 50-50 is good. And Raphael, talking about deadbeat super affiliate. Yeah, you guys are completely different. Yeah, we totally are. Like I said, looks like Dan is doing an awesome job. Great marketer. I hope I can connect with him. So then we go on, and Lorraine says, is it okay to insert one affiliate link into info post? Yeah, you can put as many affiliate links as you deem like necessary. I recommend, you know, on an info post, I usually put like 2 to 3, nothing crazy, just a couple related products that targets the same kind of visitor, the same audience. So if someone's interested in my old example that I haven't done in a couple weeks, if someone is interested in Pilot G2 pens, maybe they're interested in Post-it notes like this one, because people that write need something to write on and vice versa. So yeah, you can put affiliate links in your info post, just in general. Yeah. Ron says, not sure if you want to disclose here, but how are the live chats working for you? Lots of participation and engagement. May do something yourself and you're debating a webinar funnel. I'll come back to that in a sec. Vimel says, is the main target still 1 to 2 product roundup, keyword post websites? Man, that's a lot of words in there. In few single product reviews and how to post type site. Well, I'm not really, let me digest that for a second too, Vimel. I'm not sure what you're talking about exactly. So Ron, yeah, give it a shot. Overall, the live streams in general, really interesting. So for about, I don't know, a month or 6 weeks, there were probably only like 8 to 12 people normally. And I was trying to do a little on Facebook. I don't like Facebook much, so I stopped doing that. And yeah, it's slowly grown, and I'm doing a better job figuring out what people liked and didn't like. So there was a lot of like wheels spinning at the beginning. And I will tell you that like YouTube and webinar stuff is like massive. Like to have people see me and talk to me and interact has been like a total game changer, like for me understanding what people like and what they want to hear about, and then also having a connection with the audience, which is a super big deal. So you should try it and expect it to be like any kind of internet marketing. It's going to be a mess. There's going to be a lot of mistakes. You're going to have tech issues. Everything you try is not going to work at first, and then eventually, if you sort through all of that, there's going to be like 1 or 2 things that work. So do more of those. Bemel, coming back to your question, I don't really know what you're asking. There's a lot of buzzwords, but I think, and you're probably down further in the chat, other people are yelling at me, here's what he means. I think generally you can design a site in the way that I think you're saying, but you have like a full amount of flexibility. You could do whatever you want. You know, you could put like a bunch of different product roundup guides, or one, or you don't have to do any. You could just do like review post on the single sites, or on single products rather. And then Botu says, hey Doug, what about doing Amazon affiliate sites in other languages? I think it's great. I've never done it. I don't speak any other languages, but if you have the ability to, I think the competition would be much, much lower. Dcard says, you're in this stuff in internet marketing for the last 8 months, so you need to be a little more serious. I mean, it took me a couple years. I mean, you'll have like some ups and downs and stuff, but like if you're thinking, you sound like you're talking about college, so it sounds like you're a couple years younger, maybe a full 2 decades younger than me. And if you're looking at like your whole like career, you have plenty of time. So it may take you a little while to find the stuff that you like. Maybe you figure out you like copywriting. Through this whole thing, you figure out you like copywriting or something like that. And let's keep going here. Danish says, how many words were the articles when I published the 200? They were 800 to 1,200 words. So on average, 1,000. And so Cyclic says, do I think the plumbing material niche is so competitive? No clue. Never looked at it before. Everyone has plumbing though, so that seems like a good thing. Bemel says, are micro niche sites working? Don't know. I don't think so. So here's the deal. I've never done a site like a micro niche site before and had it work. I think when I first started online, they were sort of on the way out. That was like 4 years ago, 2013. So I don't think they are really working. And I can tell you this, anyone, like all my peers, my friends in mastermind groups, other contacts that I know, people that are doing well, no one is doing micro niche sites. So just keep that in mind. Pierre says, you're planning on outsourcing the part where you're adding the Amazon affiliate links in the articles. As you know, it's a really delicate part. Do I have any advice on what to tell my VA? Yeah, so Pierre's a student of mine at 5 Figure Niche Site. So shoot me an email. I have like a short bit of information that I could send to you. So that is something that I could share with you as a student. Lorraine says, you would love to use the site straight from Amazon for photos, but is there a better way than copy the HTML multiple times into the text editor? You can use a plugin, which is, I know that's what you're asking before, but here's what I found after doing thousands of these is using a plugin like EasyAzon was not any faster because you have to go search for the product and you still have to like do settings. It wasn't faster for me at all, and it like slowed down my site just in general. Again, you probably noticed I'm a minimalist in the way that I'm answering the questions and stuff like that. And basically, I don't think using the plugins was like faster for me at all. So to answer your question, no, I don't know of a better way to do it other than what you just described, but you're just doing one post at a time. So you can, break it up. There's no way around like doing that, I don't think. Lance, what's up? Thanks for joining in. So Ron said, you're here because something really cool happened on Facebook for you. You saw my post and then clicked a button to remind you, and then set an alert in Gmail. That is cool. I should tell other people to do that. And Tony, what's up? Quite a few people in here for this one. Yeah, I'm like the last one last Friday, we had like 40 people. So this is getting a little better. Josh says, any tips on getting into the knowledge box featured snippet? Actually, that's a good one I should hold for another time. Basically, you need to use either a table, bullet points, or a numbered list. Those are like the primary things. So use those on every post, maybe multiple times. Those are probably the best thing to do, best things to do. And I'm going to copy and paste this question into my list here. And okay, last couple questions here. I gotta go. I have another meeting coming up here. I just gotta find where to put these questions. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. This is why I'm broke.com has little text for each Amazon product they list. That's much different than what I promote with the 100-word or with a 1,000-word post. You guessed the question, is that format viable, in my opinion, in growing an affiliate website? So the thing is, with This Is Why I'm Broke, it's mainly viral content. So if you can make content viral, then it's a viable strategy. The thing is, I believe that model would probably take more constant attention because you're managing social accounts in some fashion, and you have to, you know, get viral content. So I'm really not sure if social media is your thing, you like it, you enjoy doing that type of viral sort of content, then I think it could be viable. For me, not my thing. Not my thing at all. And Wesley says, we created longer form content to poke through the armor of larger sites and break through the top 10 ourselves. Wesley, that's exactly right. Yeah. So Vemel says, how many ultra KGR keywords do I target in one article? Just one. Josh says, if a site is earning around 5,500 per month off of 1,200 organic visitors per day, is that good, or can it be optimized? I think anything could be optimized. That sounds pretty good, but there's a lot of variables in there. So, and Tony chimes in with, YouTube alerts will let you guys the moment Doug goes live if you have a web browser open. If you're enjoying these, make sure that you're not only subscribed, but you're signed up for alerts. Yeah, click the little bell. That's how you get the notifications. So that is the right thing to do. And by the way, I see we have like 36 people on. Please click the little thumbs up down below, like where you're viewing it probably. Like if you like the video, then it'll help more people find it. And then, I mean, that will encourage me to do more of these videos. So that's obviously the right thing to do. So please like the video. I really appreciate it. And I should ask that like earlier on, but I guess if I held over 30 people on here for this long, you were at least slightly interested in what I was saying. Okay, last question. Vemel says, are you still using PBN's Web 2.0s? No, the answer is no, I don't. And by the way, I am going to do a Q&A, just straight up Q&A on Friday. Same time, same place. So if you enjoyed this, be sure you're subscribed. Also, be sure you click the little bell like Tony said. Thanks for the reminder. And if you have questions that you want me to answer, get to the live stream early on Friday, and you can actually chat before I start going live, which is kind of cool because then I have a queue of questions. I don't have to tell stories or make things up on the fly. Okay, I am out of here. So everybody have a good day. We'll talk to you later. See ya.